Yeah, I think sometimes people feel like targeted or insulted that like because something exists, they must use it. Because they're not using it, the game is judging them for not using it. That's not the case. You don't need to use points of interest. If you don't, your rankings will just be different. Whatever, fine. You'll get to play the game the way you want to play it. We are on a map that does not have points of interest. But if you like sim sitting and staying in your base, you probably should pick House of Lancaster here because Carmel does not have much gold. No, not safely in your base. And these two civs are very interesting for that reason. Japanese versus Jean to decide this. A matchup that honestly feels really good for Jean. Pressure, good on this map because of the lack of safe gold. Knights into Arbitrae, very strong against what Japan offers up. This is very much a timing-based matchup for Corvinus, unless he has something crafty and different to do, like maybe some recently buffed Yumi. Oh yeah, no, like I'm not saying that people shouldn't have their opinions on things, but my take of points of interest was kind of the same as like if you make more skill shots and whatnot, right? Like that's the other one for me. Some people I know were not positive about Sync Shot, just like some people were not positive about Jean and her abilities. But I feel like the people that use those abilities, like if that is truly worth doing and truly strong, they'll just move out of your bracket. They'll move above you. And like, I know people don't like that word because it almost feels like you're being looked down upon, but like, it's fine, you know? The reality check is most people shouldn't give a crap about their rank because 99.9% of the player base is not trying to be a pro. So just have fun. Like this map, I can imagine is not that popular amongst casuals, I'd say. Just because of the fact you can't camp in your base long. But from a viewership standpoint and a competitive standpoint, minus like maybe some balance issues need to be resolved around the tier, this is a really cool map. Because there is so little safe gold on the map. And the big gold is slap bang in the center. Well, I say slap bang, it's slightly skewed a bit towards Corvinus here. But you know what? I call that the reasonable Japanese buff because they can't build a castle here. Yeah, this is, I think, what makes me a little bit about Japan on this map, per se. Is like, you can't just secure the 8k. And that's scary because actually this 8k, more often than not, whoever secures the castle here, I'd say like 80% of the time, whoever puts a castle here wins the game. And yeah, we do have Koka. This is a very old build then. If he's not adding in, say, Yumi. If this is just Koka for counter pressure play, it's very much a pre-Jean buff build, in my opinion. And what's up, Mao Mao? Thank you very much for the raid. Hope you had a good stream. So the concept here used to be that Koka was really good against Jean because she couldn't run away. So you build 4 or 5 Shinobi, and you just Shunshin on top of her and stab her face off. Now that worked especially very good against range Jean, which is normally what you want to do against Japanese, because melee Jean is a death sentence against emplacements and Mad Samurai. So what would happen is, with worse movement speed, you'd move in range, they'd all jump on top of you, and they'd immediately take over a third of your health off. And you couldn't run away. But since those days, Jean has got a movement speed buff. So when you go for range Jean, which is quite probable here, you have an easy ability to run away. Did he actually scout the landmark? I mean, even if you don't, range just makes a lot of sense. We do have the pro scouts coming in. That's to be expected. Jean is just really good at playing pro scouts on this map. And with the fact that there is 58 deer on the map, most people are going to be encouraged to play pro scouts. Okay, how did you guys predict on this, by the way? 71% for B. I think that's understandable. We did recently see this matchup. I believe we had it between Beastie and Vortex on the weekend. I wonder what the overarching plan is for Korv. Oh, well, okay, there it is. So he's actually going to mirror Pro Scouts. So now the Shinobi, I think their goal isn't to be directly in the face of Jean. It's to play the flank, so you want to be sneaky ninjas? Maybe? What do you think about new Pro Scouts? It's an improvement. A very big improvement. It's like finally the nerfs it needed. You're still seeing Pro Scouts a lot, and partially that is residual, like civs that are still trying to figure out what's next. But another part of it is just some civs are good for it. But the idea now is like Pro Scouts is counterable. Some maps will still push you Pro Scouts. Like I believe this is probably the most egregious example of the map that will put you on Pro Scouts. Because as I mentioned, there is 58 deer. 52 of which are in what you could consider neutral territory, i.e. not in the enemy base. So that's a lot of deer. That's well over 10,000 food worth of deer. So you're going to definitely think about contesting that. Definitely it's worth to go Pro Scouts as the Japanese. Yeah, it's definitely a little bit questionable against Japan into Jeon, because your opponent can actually just block you quite well with knights. The other thought process is, like, on this map, I think Japan's issue isn't going to be food as much as it's going to be gold. Also, because Japan does get stone while gathering gold, you technically could just start moving out to these resources and outposting up. But I think he's paranoid about the idea of, like, mass knights down the line. And yeah, interesting thing, actually. B went melee, Jean. Well, mathematically, like, she is better at taking boar, right? So is this for the boar value that she doesn't need to be camped? Because there's 4 boar on this map, which means 100 XP. If you can get to level 3, in a big melee mosh pit, it's a lot of damage. But against 6 Shinobi, it's kind of a death sentence. You could argue with enough knights, you don't care. Also, he has got archers coming. I think what this probably is from B is he saw the stables, maybe? And then for, okay, like, I'm not going to go archer because if he goes horseman, I die. That would make sense. Yeah, a little bit surprising because, like we said, normally the range feels better because if you're both going mass knights later on, then this can, like, being ranged can actually finish units. But melee can't really chase down injured knights. Even Bandom's going to be a little bit annoying on the flanks. The Shinobi have still not made a move. And I'm wondering when they will decide to be in existence, because we're 8 minutes in the game, he's built 7 of them, and they haven't really been able to do anything yet. This just feels like an ultimate let's kill Jean plan. And it will be good, because remember, Shinobi get extra damage against melee. So each of these guys is doing 23 damage, sorry, 22 damage to Jean. Which means 11 strikes and she's dead. So jump in with Shinshin, insta-killer, and they see her first because the vision. But remember, movement speed-wise, that is far enough away. Yep, oh, this is the problem with Shinshin. He tried to actually deal with it by staggering it, but normally when you Shinshin like this, they basically push each other away and stop each other attacking. It is super clowny. Okay, like, if I'm B, I'm kind of happy with this investment. I'm not getting XP, but also, what are these guys doing? He's going to have to remember the timing, because Shinshin's cooldown is not that high. So he actually could get pinched right now. Oh. Archers are here, though. Oh, that was so beautifully timed. B. Whoa. Oh, that was almost so sick. Cleave into Divine Restoration. He needed 1 extra kill to survive that. Cool idea. Doesn't work out, though. However, the chase is on. That is going to be 3 Shinobi dead, soon to be 4. There's a lot of XP denied, a lot of tempo removed from B. Corvinus is ready to go for the age up. B still needs to place him into the field before going castle. How is Jean quicker than a ninja? Because she's got like a tiny little pony underneath her legs, you just can't see it. Like, have you never had one of those fake ponies? You know, the ones that like a stick and a head? She's got one of those, but like we can't zoom in enough to show you it. And you know when you were a kid, did you not feel like you went faster when riding that thing? So it just makes sense. And then one day, that tiny stick pony will grow up to be a real stallion. Where are the coconut shells? We use those as, like, nut protectors. That's why if you try to kick a ninja in the nuts, you hear a clunk. Am I saying she has a stick between her legs? Yes. And when she gets into the Imperial Age, that stick turns into a bombard. Because, like, tiny tree grows into giant tree that shoots things at you. It all makes sense, really. Why are you guys questioning this? Okay, so B's going for the guild hall. Corv... Oh, he went for the... I've been hearing about this from this weekend. Temple of Equality is coming in. Corvinus has been a little bit obsessed with this. Okay. Actually, pretty impactful against French and Jean. What do French and Jean want to build, guys? One guess. One word. It's very easy. There's no baiting here. I'm not tricking you. You want to build knights. So, a unit that's high raw damage with no bonus. Oh, Buddhist monks sound pretty good against that. And here's the other crazy thing. What did we highlight is the problem on this map that makes Japan suck? What's the thing that gets them killed? Access to gold. So what if we could just build monks and get gold? Not because I picked up relics, but because they just exist. It's actually a very smart solution to a very big problem for Japan. By the way, I'm outraged. Why is it we've added all these things to Capture Age, but we didn't think to add the monks? No one believed it. You can tell even the devs didn't think that this landmark could be taken seriously when they added Shinobi to the overlay, but didn't add Buddhist monks. Okay, so relics not really being rushed right now by Corvinus. It's difficult due to the lack of map control. He's spamming monks. He doesn't actually have any like real army yet. His opponent is going to arbitrate. You could technically actually play Horseman here, believe it or not. Horseman for Japan makes a lot of sense with the heal and also the damage debuff. Because at that point, the knights are hitting for like the same damage as your ponies. And you just bolt fast. Time being it is going to be in placement, so Springel's getting set up. B could try to capture Sacred Sites, rush relics. Would actually be the best thing you could do right now. Temple quality has been good for quite some time. Yeah, and B shoot it like a long time ago, funnily enough, ironically enough. He was showing it in tournament play like last year. He wasn't alone either. I believe was it Louis MT? Yeah, Louis MT actually like was on this so much quicker than the stuff happening in EGC's tournament right now. Like I remember EGC doing staggered temples across the map to do the Wololo buffs. Because reminder, the other unique thing these Buddhist monks do is the Wololo buffs units in range. If you're just in the Wololo area, you get 20% more damage. Monks generate gold? Yep. Nice little trickle of pennies. 25 gold every minute. And by the way, honestly think to this day, people just forget this. Buddhist monks are only 80 gold. They sound really bad if they were 150 gold, like normal monks. But they only cost 80. So, you get a unit of 90 HP that can heal, that can debuff, that also generates gold back, and it only costs 80 gold. It's actually a pretty decent deal. Spring placements are making me think twice about this. Another thing that's interesting, guys, is what does Jean hate? She wants to farm XP, so what she hates is not being able to do so. Well, healing stops you farming. If units don't die, you don't get paid. You do need units, though, that can't die. So far, it is just mass Uma Bannerman from Corvinus. Yeah, because Uma Bannerman have more health, I assume, is the reason here. So just much tankier compared to just the standard Mount Samurai. I don't know, this is a lot of arbitrary. What is the debuff range for Sohai Sutra? I'm pretty sure it's 6 tar range. So per V's drop won't change anything about what you can target. Why are we killing them? Yeah, minus 25 XP. A ninja beats a pig? Oh, you know. This just sounds like an 8-year-old's childhood, doesn't it? Ninja versus a policeman. Whoa, KP. Sorry if I have any policemen that are viewers. Please don't swat me. Okay, that misspell actually makes me want bears in the game now, so that I can just be like, he barely beat him. He barely beat him. Yeah. All right, B actually did secure the big gold. And he did go Guildhall, so this could be a gradual red pass drop to kind of secure the game, but the game's different now, man. And we are getting those horsemen we talked about, so Uma Bannerman buff coming in big, especially when you start to have these horsemen with level 3 melee attack. And yeah, B is going to get 5 relics, but query me this. Does he get 500 passive gold per minute? No, he gets 400 is the answer. But if you're Corvinus with 20 Buddhist monks, he is generating 500 gold a minute forever. Now, I've hyped it up. The reality is this doesn't look great right now. Corvinus, it's all good, this idea of healing things until they die. You know? Have you guys ever like had your pet hamster die and you put like a plaster on it? A band-aid? Does it come back to life? Oh no, my hamster is dead. Does giving it medicine make it better? No. And this is the problem. Corvinus' little pets here are going to get shot in the face by 39 Arbitraire. Even with damage mitigation, they are not going to survive that. This is going to be a massacre, isn't it? Why is there a priest at your funeral? So that he can convince your parents to like buy one of those special lava lamps that they say that they inject your soul into. Just like they did in Community. That plus freeze your spell. Like they done in Community. But wow, look at that. We healed him. We tried. Oh no. The Buddhist monks don't seem to be winning. And level 3 Sean's about to come in. Okay, he's going to dive in now. Knights are coming across, though. That's a lot of circles. But not really a lot of army. If Corvinus' actual units get targeted down here, which is what is happening, and now the cleaves are going to be big. It's a lot of Buddhist monks. We just want peace. You want to be in pieces? No problem. I got you, buddy. I can definitely help make that possible. Okay, like, no memes here? This actually might have worked better for Corvinus if it was just spears. No cap. I think you probably had a better chance of, like, defending that. I don't know. It's weird. Maybe if you toggled half of them onto heal and then half of them off. So half are debuffing, half are cryo healing. But, like, the biggest problem you always see with this is, like, you need to micro them. If you aren't targeting all these units individually with different monks, it takes so long to debuff. It's just not worth. All right, hippies, this is proof. Love and prayers does not beat a shotgun to the face. I mean, crossbow was kind of like the medieval shotgun. In fairness, the religious sects usually were Jean's downfall. I mean, she was burnt as a heretic. Unfortunately, they did not bring enough wood to torch the maiden today. Instead, it is going to be Corvinus' hopes and dreams that get doused out here by a full-on Jean dive. You gotta feel bad about this, though. Mocking the Japanese for not having crossbows. It's just rude. But look at all those pretty circles, guys. I've marked him for victory. He's been marked for victory. Corvinus is goofing around. He can't beat Sirius. Yeah, because why would you be serious in a $25,000 tournament? Like, that's crazy. Like, what's the point? To win, like, the majority of $25,000? I mean, that... You guys need money? Just build Buddhist monks. You get it forever. GG comes out. Weird, but in some ways wonderful game, I guess. It's going to be a fruity victory for B.